Hey, Anatomy. Just wanted to finish up your notes on the integumentary system. We should have gotten through here. If we didn't, we'll finish it up coming back in. Not really sure when this video will be played. This is hitting in your notes on moles. Okay, there's several things I wanted you to know about moles. Most of the time with moles, they're just a normal little cluster of melanocytes. Sometimes they can grow in just a spotty area instead of spreading out throughout the skin. Typically, moles are fine. Most moles are what we call benign. That means non-cancerous. Anything with malignant means that it is cancerous, but most moles are benign. You probably have moles on your body right now. Some of them we're born with, some of them we develop over time, especially when you start becoming like a young adult. You start getting more moles popping up from various things. Sometimes exposure to certain elements like UV radiation from the sun. You might pop up moles there. Some of them just come over time. Not a big deal in most cases, but there are certain signs I wanted you to see about determining is a mole healthy or is a mole a marker of cancer. Okay, because that's some things I want us to look at with skin cancer. How do we know is a mole healthy, or how do we know if something could be wrong? We follow the ABCDE rule. Okay, and that's it stands just an acronym, just like with Murder's Link, for ABCDE of these words. Okay, let's just go through them real quick. A stands for asymmetry. Asymmetry means that one half of the abnormal skin area is different from the other half. Look at this example. If you were to cut this in half, let's say, if you were just to look at it kind of from that perspective, this side is very, very similar to this side. They would be symmetrical or near symmetrical. Here, on the other hand, no matter how you cut it, whatever we're looking for, this side is going to be different from this side, or this side is going to be different from this side. If it's asymmetrical, it could be a sign of cancer. That's the thing I wanted you to see today. It doesn't mean, oh, you have cancer, okay? You're probably looking at moles on your body right now going, oh my gosh, is it one of these things? Do not panic. It just tells you if it has one or more of these things, these markers, it'd be a good idea to go to a dermatologist to get it checked out, okay? Borders, it has a regular border, right? We can kind of say it's a regular shape. It doesn't have to be round like this one or like these. That is a typical marker, though. Notice some of them are a little more oval than other ones. But this border, this one doesn't have a really defined border. You can see there's certain areas that have a discoloration of the skin here and kind of here that doesn't fit inside that border. Color, it means there's a various amount of colors inside that mole. Looking back again, we can see they're not all the same color as being a normal mole. A lot of that may depend on your skin color. So if you have a darker skin color, your moles may be darker. If you have a lighter skin color, really, a pale type skin, it may be more reddish than brown. That's not the problem with color. The color is when it's different colors. Here we see a light brown and a dark brown. Here especially. That's the color. Light brown and dark brown. There's even some places that they kind of look whitish. Here we can kind of see some bluish greenish colors, almost like a bruise underneath. Okay, when the color's off, it's good to get it checked out. Diameter, this is not always the case, but think of the size of a pencil eraser. That's right about 6 millimeters. Moles tend to stay that size or smaller unless they're a marker for a possible type of cancer. Now, you could have a large mole, size of a quarter or something around that size, and it could not, not a sign of anything. This is just typically. Now remember, birthmarks and moles are very different from each other. We'll cover birthmarks in some other section of our notes. And the E stands for evolving. This means it's changed over time. Only you would be able to tell that. If I were just to look at one of your moles right now, I wouldn't know, has it changed? Has it gone from this dark black place to a, now it's a dark black with these grayish or lighter black places in here, okay? That means it's evolved. It has changed. So if you have one or more of these markers, it may be worth getting checked out. A dermatologist can go in, cut away that mole, run a test on it. It only takes a few days, come back and tell you if that's some type of cancer or not. So you have an activity to do with this. It's just showing you a mole, and then you have to choose. Is it probably a normal mole, or does it possibly give signs of cancer according to one of these rules? Okay, so you'll have some time to check this out. Also, it's not a bad idea to take time to look over your body and see about your moles. Compare it to this ABCDE rules. Let's go ahead and look at these 3 different types of cancers just in case we didn't get to them in class. If not, this just reviews it. Skin cancer is uncontrollable growth of normal skin cells. Anytime you hear about cancer, it's simply growth of a cell that can't be controlled. Hopefully you remember back in biology we talked, or wherever you were taught about cancer, that cells normally, under normal conditions, they divide, right? They make copies of themselves. 1 turns into 2, 2 turns into 4, 4 turns into 8, 8, 6, whatever. They divide up. This is called mitosis. But when this growth is uncontained or uncontrolled, it doesn't stop at the right point. That's what we call cancer. So skin cancer is just simply happen in the skin cells that happen in there. Malignant means cancerous. Benign means not cancerous. So if you had a mole cut off and it was benign, that's a good thing. If you hear about somebody having a tumor, benign, good thing. Malignant means it is spreading. Okay, it may be very slow spreading, but it's spreading nonetheless. The types of skin cancer that we'll talk about in here, there's 4 basic types. We're leaving out one called Merkel cell carcinoma. It's just very, very rare. It includes like bluish points of the skin. Merkel cell, worth looking out. Not Markel, sorry, Kel, but Merkel, spelled the same way. The 3 kinds we're going to talk about in here are basal cell carcinoma. This is the most common form of skin cancer. And if it's the one you had to choose to get, this would be it, because it's very slow growing, So basal cell carcinoma, this takes place just in those basal cells of the epidermis. So it has to do with keratinocytes. Squamous cell carcinoma, this comes from flat cells of the epithelium. This could be in some of those middle layers of the epidermis or even the top layers. Of course, we know those top layers get sloughed off very easily. But this is in those squamous cells, not so much those keratinocytes. Both of these, you're probably going to be okay, especially if you catch it early on. That's why I wanted you to know about those moles. That can be a way to catch cancer early on. And the last type of skin cancer is malignant melanoma. You can tell right there, malignant means it's spreading. This is where those melanocytes that we heard a little bit about in our videos previously that gives us skin color, is where cancer develops in those. This means cancer tends to metastasize. Whenever you hear that term, know it means spread to other parts of the body. That can make it hard to treat. So if you have malignant melanoma, it may get in the bloodstream. It may travel to other organs. It is no bueno. Okay, so those are the 3 types of skin cancers I wanted you to fill in and know about. Know that malignant melanoma is by far the worst of those 3. Just looking at a few of these here. Pretty normal moles. They don't have to be raised over the surface like this. Notice these are under the surface of the skin, but all of them got a pretty good symmetry, got a pretty good defined border, colors, pretty well right. Diameters, they're probably pretty small, and we don't know about evolving. These are no good, okay? They pretty much break all the ABCDE rules, right? Asymmetrical, nope. Border, it is everywhere. Color, very different in color. Diameter, we can assume these are pretty large. And evolving, this is a really good one to show evolving, how we've had this and now we've got this splotchy part of skin, so we could probably assume it's spreading. Kind of gross to look at, but for sure the colors are off. This one's elevated so much it's starting to get calloused a little bit here and there, probably on somebody's head if I had to guess based on this hair. But this is a good sign that, hey, this could be cancer. So you might want to get it checked out by a medical professional. Probably normal, if I just had to guess. Definitely asymmetrical. We've got a little circle here that shows, no matter how you flip it, it's not good. The borders are everywhere. You can kind of see discoloration in different places, so there's color as well. This could be a sign of evolving if this popped up afterwards here. So that's all of those. Just wanted to see you see some of those in action or what they may look like. Feel free to use this video to fill in your notes and also refer back to for your mole activity and anything else that you may have coming.